Hello, glass people. Just thought I'd bring you in to a pattern I'm working on. Been doing a lot of digitizing lately, and I just wanted to show this one. It's a really good example of cleaning up hand-drawn lines and issues overall. Um, I started this pattern actually a while ago, and I never got around to really I never got around to it. And finally, today's the day, and I was getting to a point where I had to do a lot of taking this area, fixing it, digitize lines and transferring to the corners, trimming the oval, uh, fixing the layout pretty much so I can get to this point where I'm using the tool that uh, removes the background. Now you can see I already did a lot of the horse here. In the actual tool for the style, I put the border at 1 pixel, 1 point. If I go bigger, you'll see too. But I got a lot of small pieces. I want to hold them down for a minute until I get things finalized. I may just leave them because this is going to be a larger pattern as well. So I just want to show you how this works. Now this this is all again not a finalized copy of this pattern in the line. I'm going to bring this whole design into my other software where I can do some really fine nudging and moving pieces, reshaping lines. But here I need to clear up the hand drawing. I need to get it out and digitize it. That's what I'm basically doing here. There's a lot of manipulation of the design, moving things, this and that. Like I always said, this is all hand done on paper. The corners were done on a computer, but still the artwork involved doing the corners, it takes a lot of time with the moving the small segments and waypoints of the pattern itself. It really does. There's a lot of work there. So and I'm using a mouse, so I could do it with a pen and paper, a pencil and paper, but there'd be a lot of erasing, and I'd be fine with that. It's just that I'm doing a full layout, and my intention is to do a digitized version of this pattern. So puts a little explanation to that. So what I like to do is when I'm doing a bigger pattern like this, I start removing areas that key elements of the design, just so I can get an idea of what's going on. Yeah, I can see what I got for leaves, what I got for background, the horse. I got a 3-point leaf there. It kind of helps along the way. This one should not be background. I wonder how that happened. Alright, let's go. I wasn't paying attention. You easily just Command Z it back. And it's already a background. Huh. No, let's see. Well, you know what? I'll just remember that's the part of horse. I'm just saying, I'm going to remove it anyway. I just wanted to see what the design looked like. This and this is a leaf. That's a leaf. And that's a leaf. This is background. I got leaves here. So what I'm doing is I'm highlighting these leaves because even though it's not the main focal part of the window, it plays a big part in the overall aesthetics of the window. the flow of design, the suggestive movement. That leaves are great for that, as well as the sky. Sky has a implied clouds, and you don't have to make them clouds. You can just use different colors of background. Put a little darker in areas, just to a little darker, to make it look like a shadowing, or you can layer it down, or do like a sunset, which is pretty too. And here I have that's greenery in the background, intended to be like the field or trees. I like that. And this rose, I'm pretty comfortable with it. When I bring it into my other software, I may make a few changes, just because I'm a little concerned about the area here. Not a big deal. I have the overall layout of the rose done so far, so I'm comfortable with that. But there's a few little lines I have to work on. No big deal. Let's go with the rose. And you can see this tool has like a magnifying glass in it, so you can see what you're removing. It can move quite a bit. The further you draw away from the point, the more it digs deeper into the line, to a point where it'll go right through it. Right? You could really zoom in. I know there's a little piece there, right there. Zoom right in. Now this one I chopped the bottom off. I'm going to go hit back, Command Z, and not be as aggressive with it. You got to watch, what the computer takes off. That's good. This software I'm using is Apple Pages, Mac Pages. I'm using it on a Mac Mini running OS, was it 15? I don't know what it's up to now. Now here, in this area of the branches here, I'm going to do intentional shadowing, especially in this area. So I'm going to leave intentional gap there. So if you do this at a lead, which I would highly recommend, you're basically putting 2 pieces of lead here just to fill that in. And again, below, you can do a little overlay with wire or solder, or just remember that this area's got to be a little heavier. If this is done in copper foil, when I get to the other software, I may extend this out into this branch a little bit to make it look a little more natural, like this. All right, so I'm just pointing that out here. This has to be thickened up a little bit here. Let's go on to more branches, and these will be typically a brighter green. The rose bush branch, maybe a amber green, with like a moss green, which would look pretty too. Especially if you use a nice yellow rose, or red, pink. It could be rose. So anyway, I just wanted to bring you into this background removal tool. This is the Alpha tool. Use it for cleaning up line drawings and a finalized digitizing. If you want to Command Z that, I double clicked. There we go. Yeah, if you make a mistake, you just hit the Command Z key on your keyboard, and it brings you right back to where you were. What was I getting at? Yeah, I just wanted to, show you this process. I see a little nudge there. I'll fix it in my other software. You see, this really works well. and one piece at a time. If you do a lot of stained glass, or if you're ready to, well, get ready to welcome a lot of work, monotony, and when you look at it, you got to say, well, it's one piece at a time, and what helps with the creative side of it. When you start laying glass down, you start getting really energized about how it's going to look. All right. So that's why I said one piece at a time. You're going to learn patience. That's it. So what I'm going to be doing is, again, bringing this into other software to clean it up. I'm not concerned about break lines for the moment, but this area, the design here of this flip was just so far enough away from that line. The reason being, if you do this with lead, you don't want to have to start mitering these sharp points. You want to have a continuous piece of lead running right around where that main curl area, and then another one that runs straight across. By the time they're both in place, the center area will touch. You want it to touch just gently. Just fit. Right? That makes any sense. And that's why that was done like that. So this is going to take some time to do all this. And again, maybe I'll add to the video, or just show finalized, or another video when I bring it into Pixelmator, which is another app that I use. And then after that's done, I have to bring it back into Pages and do a final digitizing, exporting as PDF. And at that point, I may even have to do another alpha background removal to convert to PNG. That we'll see. We'll see how that goes. This one is probably going to end up being earmarked for blueprint services, like from Staples or Office Max or FedEx. They all offer that. For this design, which, I mean, the size is infinite, but I would say a good size would be like an 18 by 30, or a typical window size stained glass piece that you can put in a nice oak frame. The pattern can also be resized to any size that imaginable, other than distorting things out of perspective too much. I mean, in that case, they just redo the design. So on that, I'm gonna close this video, and please, if you're here, you like my stuff, I'm doing my best. I'm trying really hard. Hit that Holy Spirit. That's my subscribe button. And I'd like you to come back and see more of my stuff. That it's free, subscribe. And what it does, it puts a little thing either on your phone or your computer, a little notification that says, hey, that guy that does stained glass, the design work, he just uploaded a new video. Check it out. Yeah, you could ignore it. What do they call them? Notifications? Well, you come back and take a peek. All right? You don't have to watch the whole thing. Yeah, just see what I'm up to. I promise more of this kind of stuff. I know there's a lot of people are very apprehensive about even designing stained glass. But with the proper tools and patience and will, you're gonna have a will to do it. I could turn anybody into a really good pattern designer. It's not really that hard. If you do things in segments or sections, or you plan it out. I mean, there are times when I could take this whole rows in this panel and make it twice the size, 1/3 the size, or move it across the page. with computers, the flexibility, I mean, really excels way beyond the old days of pencil, gum eraser, and art paper. I mean, it that has its place, and I was pretty successful doing artwork, but I did use the eraser. You know, it sometimes you say, well, that little thing area could have been this size. This could have been done that way. On paper, you're kind of limited to settling. And I hope that makes some kind of sense, because when you're doing digital work, you could do a slight nudge and say, hey, that looks a lot better. It's like having somebody else uh, standing next to you, giving you advice or coaching you along, doing your artwork. I mean, there are really good artists out there that, whatever they do, they just throw it on paper and it's beautiful. They don't need that. But the average person, I'd say 99% of us that do stained glass artwork, um, that little help from the computer, the digitals, the digitizing, it really does make a big difference. So in my opinion, and this is an opinion, that though I did artwork, all my life on paper with a piece of paper and pencil and eraser, and learning the new digital software for stained glass art, I did both, so I can honestly say that the computer assisted designing is far superior. And not even going into the way you can reshape, resize, print. I mean, there's more. There's so much more to it than just the old school paper and pencil. I'm not knocking it. I did it for many, many years. But this my perspective on the new uh, powers of digital artwork. And it's still, this is all hand drawn. It's my design, and all my work. And when this is done, I got all the lines for the borders, and I got to clean up a little bit here. When this is done and made in stained glass, it's going to really be a knockout. And I hope somebody does use it and uh, takes a picture. I love to see it. Okay, with that, I'm going to sign off again. Click on the. I think it's right here somewhere on the Holy Spirit to subscribe. Everybody, take care.